Hey guys, it's Andy. It's been a few months since I made a video. I was prepping to get ready for the semester to start, and I had some conferences, so I haven't had much time to either shop or to make a video. But I do have some things I want to show. Some of these things I've had for a while, but I just finally got around to listening to, and maybe people would be interested because some of this is, kind of common, but famous artists who were in the earlier period. So here's one that. I've never seen anybody talk about this one. This is Freddie Hubbard, A Little Night Music is what it's called. This is on Fantasy. It's got Freddie Hubbard, Joe Henderson, Bobby Hutcherson. It's got really, great guys, but it's an 80s record, right? So it looks super cheesy. It sounds a little slicker than what you might like, but it's actually really, really good. If you see that, grab it. I think I paid $1.50 for it at a record shop here in Austin. So Freddie Hubbard, A Little Night Music. I recommend that for jazz fans, especially if you don't insist on having the cool labels. I like the cool labels. I try to grab Blue Nose, Impulse, all that stuff as much as I can, but every once in a while I'm really pleasantly surprised by a cheesy looking one. So another thing I grabbed, I wish I had had this back when I was doing my Enya video. This is another inner city Enya shared release. This is Eric Dolphy, the Berlin concerts. So this is a show, some concerts. I don't know if this is on the trip where Dolphy passed away. I didn't look it up, but I know he died on a trip over there. I don't know any of the other people, so I should search for them. It's got Benny Bailey on trumpet, Pepsi Hour on piano, Jamil Nasir on bass, and Buster Smith on drums. It's a little strange on this record because it's mostly other people's compositions. I think there's only 2 Dolphy compositions on there, but I listened to it and I like everything that Dolphy did, and I really like the way Enya records sound, and it sounds like an indie record, even though it's a U.S. release on Inner City. I really want to talk a little bit about. I went to Montreal for a conference last weekend. And I tried to meet up with Kieran a little bit, but it was a pretty packed conference, and so we didn't get to. But I went to a couple of the shops that he recommended. I went to, I don't know how to say it, AUX 33 Tours, which if you're in Montreal, that's like a motherload of Japanese imports. I don't know how these guys get these Japanese imports, but you name it, they have a Japanese pressing of it with the obi and everything. I didn't buy any of them because, I had a lot of the stuff that I already have a lot of that stuff that I was seeing, and also I like to try to get the U.S. pressings for like older albums. But I did get Chico Freeman's first record on Indian Navigation there in pristine shape for $25, which is a very good price compared to what I've seen it around here in worse shape. We went to a few other shops, my buddy and I did, but the one that I haven't seen anybody really talk about in Montreal, which was really close to our Airbnb, is called Cheap Thrills Records. So I went in there just on a whim because I hadn't heard anything about it, and I was really impressed. So here are 2 of the records I bought from those guys. So first, I've got A Kind of Blue. This is an upgrade for me. The cover's not great. It's got some writing on it. But it is a very, very near mint U.S. 6i mono copy of this record. I looked up exactly which one it is. It's the one, I think it's the second pressing, and they messed up. They made a bunch of typos, so the tracks are in the wrong order on the cover, on the back cover, and they spell Cannonball's name incorrectly. They spelled it without the E. So I think this is a second pressing, but it's still a 6i mono. I sold my copy, which was in rough shape, for $50 within a day. It was an easy sell, and they had this for $16 Canadian, which I think they may not really specialize in jazz. I'm not sure, but or maybe they just like to give people good deals because this was a great deal. Cheap thrills. It sounds great. I'm so happy to have upgraded my copy of that record. They had a bunch of like Indian Navigation and quite a few Strata East actually. Some of those were quite expensive, like $50 to $60. I didn't get any of those. I wasn't really looking to spend that much money, but I did grab this on Indian Navigation for a reasonable price. This is another Chico Freeman, Spirit Sensitive. This has McBee on bass, Billy Hart. I was surprised by this. I'm used to hearing the Chico Freeman stuff from that era, and it's noisier and it's it's more avant-garde, post-bop. This is blues. I mean, this is sort of. This is, and my wife doesn't make me turn this off. This is like ballads, and it's really nice. It's really well played. It's kind of fun to hear a different side of some of those free guys, the more avant-garde guys. All right, so I have some other ones I got on eBay here. One that I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do with, and maybe somebody can tell me something about this so I can appreciate it better. So I got this copy of Waltz for Debbie, Bill Evans Trio. And I just can't get into it. And it might be that this copy is a bit noisy. I don't know. It's in probably very good or even good plus condition. It's got some scratches. So, and it's quiet music, right? So it's just a trio. So maybe that's why I can't quite get into it. But if anybody can give me, what should I think of while I'm listening to Bill Evans to set my mood so that I enjoy it more? If anyone has any recommendations, that would be appreciated, because I've also had some of his later stuff, the less famous records, and I've sort of passed them along. I've never been able to get into them. So that's an eBay grab. From the same seller, I got a couple of... This guy had some good deals. Thelonious Monk at Town Hall. Sound quality is a little iffy on that one. I think it's just live recording. But the one that I was super excited to get is this. This is Meet Oliver Nelson, original New Jazz with Kenny Dorham, Ray Bryant. It's got the original insert. That's always fun to get those. And this is that's actually the first original New Jazz label that I've gotten. I'm always trying to grab these records, but they usually go for way more money than I'm willing to spend. This one didn't. So, I think this one is one that you can get for a reasonable price. Because other than abstract blues and the abstract truth, I feel like Oliver Nelson is kind of underappreciated. Of course, that record is super collectible, but his other ones seem to go for a big discount. A couple of rock records I grabbed. So first is a psychedelic band from the 80s, like psych pop, The Rain Parade. I really like this band. The 10 o'clock or the 5 o'clock. I like some of this stuff from the early 80s where they're reviving psych pop, like the Left Bank and the Zombies and stuff like that. And this is exactly in that mold. And if you listen to, there are a number of current indie rock bands that are reviving that sound. It's sort of getting filtered through over and over again. Like this band Foxygen kind of sounds like this stuff. Although they think they broke up. Another thing I was super excited about is that Destroyer, this guy from Vancouver, has released a new album called Poison Season. So I've more and more been buying CDs for new releases. I figure they're recorded digitally to begin with. There's no way to think that I'm getting a different mix on the vinyl unless they make a big deal about that. So I have not been buying vinyl for new releases, but I did buy he put out this 12-inch single with a remix of one of the songs on that album, which is only on vinyl. So I grabbed that, and it's really cool. It's like he's playing this kind of yacht rock stuff on his last couple albums, which a lot of my friends who are really into indie rock have not been able to get into. But it's got like kind of cheap, warm sounding sax, like kind of cornball sounding stuff. So if you're able to get past it, it's really good. And he writes really interesting songs. He's got this like Bowie glam rock sort of style with his vocals, and very obtuse poetry. So I recommend Destroyer, and he's touring. He's actually fun to go see live, but he's not into it. But it's still fun to see him live. So that's like a limited release. It might become super collectible. I have some of his previous 12 inches that he's released with albums, and they've all shot up in price. Not that it's a great investment still, but yeah, so that's just a couple things that I've gotten recently. Work has started back up for me. The summer's over, so I'm teaching. I'm back in Austin full time, so I'll probably be going to End of an Ear. I sold some stuff through them, so I have some credit. I'll be buying records, but it's busy. It's a busy time for me, so I may not make as many videos for a while. So don't think I've vanished. I'm still watching people's videos when I have time. Just not necessarily making my own. So hope to see everybody around. This is Andy, signing off.